I have always been fascinated with seeds and the many ways that they can be planted. Or should I say, the many different seeds that can thrive in many different environments. What's even more interesting is how a seed that can flourish in one environment will actually suffer in another. In Matthew, Mark, and Luke, Jesus shares the parable of the sower sowing many different seeds. But the plot twist that I never realized until 2026 is how Jesus puts emphasis on the many different grounds on which the seeds are being sown. The parable is of the sower, but the subject is about what happens to the seeds that leave his hands.
Oops. You don't gotta pack it down, baby.
Yeah, no pack down.
Yeah. Just throw it around it. There you go.
If there is one thing that God has said to me, it was back in 2022. He said, for someone who tries to understand a lot, you really don't understand a lot. For most of my life, I've honestly tried my darndest to be considered smart enough to be credited as adequate and suitable for something. And on the other hand, while I could spend hours on end in my prayer closet, God knew just how afraid I was to step out of it, to actually do the thing that I so romantically wanted to be adequate for. So if I could just research one more thing, or if I could just look up one more scripture, I'd be closer to being ready instead of actually being ready to go in trust. That's crazy. How much? I gotta look at my book. I trusted God inside the closet, but not out of it, because what if I didn't get it right? I trusted myself in the closet, but not out of it, because what if I didn't get it right? I'd rather stay in the closet just to make sure I understood without applying what I actually thought I understood in order to truly prove that I understood and believed God. According to Hebraic thinking, and along with what Jesus alludes to in the parable, the use of understanding something goes beyond the intellectual grasp. If you act on what you heard, the end result actually proved that you truly understood. You tested the genuineness and the reliability and the truthfulness of the words being planted in you to prove their value, to actually prove their worth. But if you did not act on what you have heard, you actually have not truly understood the value and the truthfulness behind the words. Exactly.
But we still gonna be out here.
Still gonna be looking good. The reason why this hits me so strongly is because it sheds light on the reason why being full of knowledge, idolizing it, is very, very dangerous, and the trick of the enemy. There is no room for loving something beyond yourself in action, no matter the excuse, dare I say. It's also just tiresome to keep that image up, the image of I have nothing else going for me, but at least I got my brain. And if God only wanted us to know things, I'm sure He wouldn't have given us a full, healthy body to actually do the things through. And this is a reason why James says to not deceive yourself in only hearing the word and not do it. So, with me, you can kind of start to see what God was truly saying to me. I knew, at least I thought I did, way more than what I was actually obeying. And I've gotten more comfortable in different areas than I'm wanting to admit, honestly, but not anymore. I choose to press forward, even in this. For the very first time ever, I'm actually seeing the parable of the sower in the way that God intends for it to be seen. An open-ended question to the listener slash reader as to what kind of soil are you going to choose to become? Not just which one do you want to be. I mean, we all want to be the good soil, the healthy soil, the full soil. But the road of humility leads one to see what soil that they actually are in real time, in this moment, by the fruits that they actually bear. And this is why Jesus says, anyone who has ears to hear the truth better put some action behind the truth. Anyone who has ears to hear, they better hear. They better listen up. God, through His true Messiah, will always be the gardener that spreads good seeds regarding the kingdom in all its glory. And what is up to us is how we will receive those seeds. What are the grounds that we are actually cultivating in order to receive such seeds or to repel them, if we even want to receive them at all? Will we accept them with joy, but reject them with worry? Will we receive them as concepts, but forget them as life principles? Will we hear them, yell a praise on Sunday just to do absolutely nothing, but forget about them on Monday? The promise stands on both sides, okay? If you choose life, abundance is your portion. If you choose death, suffering without glory, without purpose, without intentionality, without life attached to the end will be your portion. But the choice is always, 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 always up to you. The choice is always, 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 always up to me. And this is what growing while grown is.
I was gonna say, take your finger. kick the field down in the dirt. And if it feels wet, it's good.
Growing while grown is a garden of good soil, receiving good seeds that produce good fruit. This is a space designed by God for those who want to be of good soil and receive the good seeds in order to produce good fruit in their life. Here, receiving truth and grace is our portion. Receiving abundance and strength is our portion. Receiving rebukes and correction is our portion. Receiving glory that reflects glory, that reflects glory, that reflects glory is our portion. And there is no competition here. Flowers, plants, fruit never competes, and neither should we. Jesus says that there's big fruit and small fruit, but it is all still fruit worthy of praise. And this is why I typically like to mention the word Godspeed at the end of these, because when you decide to do the truth, you cannot help but go at the pace of God in order to be effective in doing the truth. And honestly, when you are that consumed with God, you wouldn't want to compare yourself to another. So, if this is something you can see yourself growing within, I say welcome along and get ready to flourish within this garden. And on that end, I thank you for making it to the end of this video. And until next time, my friends, Godspeed and flourish along. Thank you very much for making it this far to this reintroduction of Growing While Grown. If, like I mentioned, you believe that this is a community that you can grow with and be a part of, then go ahead and click the subscribe button and I'll wait for the next video. Peace. Godspeed.